Right, everyone. Good morning. Good to see you all this morning. It's hard.
It's okay. We understand.
But I do want to just thank everybody for your prayers, your support. I knew today was going to be hard, but you don't know till you get up here. But this past week, I didn't really know what the Lord wanted me to do this morning. And the Lord just kind of kept speaking to me and telling me that, today is going to be a day where we're just going to sing and join and doing testimonies. And kind of the reason I think I was talking to Cecil yesterday. I was kind of sharing with him, there's been so many people in our church that have lost people over the last couple of years. And, it's sometimes you just got to kind of take a break and just kind of reflect on things. And we all know that for those that went on, it's okay. For them, that doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make it. It's not supposed to. This is the way life is. And I think I shared this before, that one of the chaplains said that I was speaking with the UK, said that it's part of the journey. It's a necessary part of the journey that we're all on, but it's the worst part of the journey. And that's the truth. But we all have to take that journey to get to the goal that we're all on. But there's nothing wrong with mourning those that we've lost. There's nothing wrong with having a hard day or a bad day. There's nothing wrong with that. Because all that does is just shows how much we love them and how much they love us.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. But that's just, in this, for all of us, we'll get through today, and we'll get through tomorrow, because God is with us, and we have to hold on to that. And those are the things we hold on to. But I did want to kind of get up here first and really just sincerely thank all of you all. Because one of the big things that has sustained us through this has been your all's prayers, your all's love, your all's support. And sometimes you don't think that it matters a lot, but it does. And I would just encourage you, when you run across people, whoever, it seems like they need prayer, they just need a kind of word, share it with them, because it does. It helps a lot. But I will open this up in prayer. A couple of announcements, though. For those of you all that have the service, and a lot of y'all may know him, Jason Coulter is one that did the singing at the service. Jason was my pastor for years. He and I have been friends for years and years. But he they're holding a fundraiser. It's going to be at the Indian Camp Nursery over in Morgan. And the fundraiser is for a community center down in McKinney for the kids. They have, if you go into McKinney, I don't know if you go in kind of like what I guess I would consider Main Street, McKinney, you can call it Main Street. There's the old Masonic Lodge on the right, and there's some old buildings on the left. They've been remodeling those buildings and they're turning it into a community center for the kids. And but they're holding a fundraiser on April the 23rd from 12 to 5, and then an all-day yard sale from 8 to 5. So I told him I would kind of announce that for folks because y'all teenagers or even some that are a little older than teenagers, there's nothing for kids in this community to do. So it's just something for them. But I told him I would announce that. And then also our services, I completely missed the time change. So typically we go back to 6 o'clock on Sunday nights after time changes. So we'll go ahead and do that. I guess starting tonight, we'll go ahead and do that. Hopefully you let Dennis know. Dennis is going to be preaching for me on Sunday nights for the next few weeks. And we'll just kind of play things by ear. So tonight, 6 o'clock. So I know Neil's probably already got some songs picked out and things. So after I pray and go back and try to run the sound room best I can, figure it out. And then just, you all just share as the Lord leads you to. So let's go to the Lord. Father, we come today, and I do thank you for allowing us to be in your house today, Father. I thank you for allowing me to be in your house. And Father, I know there's a lot going on for a lot of us. But right now, we just give everything to you. We give ourselves to you today, Father. I ask you to touch each and every person that's here. Father, I ask you to be with each one of us and just lead this service as you want it to be led. Do as you will have done today, Father. This is your church. This is your service. We're here to be obedient to you. Father, I know that you have great things still in store for this church and this congregation. And I'm trusting you with this and with all things. And I thank you, Father. Because even through hard times, you still are with us. You still guide us. You still bless us. You still show us how real you are. Father, I just pray for your sustaining mercy, grace, love, and comfort. Just ask you to help us all. We thank you today in Jesus' name. Amen. And I'll hang this up on the back there so y'all look at it. And I keep forgetting announcements. Dishes, some were labels are falling off. I tried to wash them all up, but I laid everything on the back table, so just whatever's yours, take it. If something's missing, let me know, and I'll either track it down or replace it for them. I got 2 boys that you never know what happens to things. So, thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Since we're going to be doing a song testimony, I guess we could say I got a few things I want to talk about. I mean, it is, and some of it is pertaining to myself. After the service, and after the funeral, then when I went back home, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to tell you one thing. I said, well, when I went to this funeral, I said, that's the first funeral that I've ever been to that did not feel morbid to me. I mean, I mean, you could have the love that everybody had for them. I guess it makes it easier when you know that where a loved one goes to. Do this. But, it made it easier to see where she was going. Got a little story to ask tell Brother Buford. Little secret me and Michelle had. I'm just wondering if she ever told you. Everybody knows that I do the mowing around here, stuff like that. And when I first started doing that mowing, we had this Craftsman mower, the little red Craftsman mower. And that mower broke down on us, so what I did, I had a Husky barn mower. I brought it up here that where Buford could mow his parsonage down there, and then I did up here at the church. And this one, I think, was when Buford was working for EKU, where he had to go to EKU to work or something like that. I forget what it was. But I was coming home from work one day, and then I get this little text. Well, no, actually, I think she called. Michelle called and said,
You're one
Hey,
something you want
she
to
said,
know.
"Can you stop by the house here for a minute?" I said, "Sure." She said, "I was trying to do some mowing, and I ran over the dog line." so I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." So I stopped by and I looked under that mower, and that dog line was up underneath. It was tied up on both blades. I mean, up in the housing, both blades on tight. And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I didn't have no tools, no nothing. I had some little bitty snips. So I mean, I tried to reach underneath there and pull. I mean, that dog line. I guess you get that plastic, and I believe she burnt the plastic that was on there on that dog line. But I tried to clip that dog line off there, and I mean, it took a little while, but I got it. I had to take one of the blades off to get it. And after I did that, she said, "Do me a favor, don't tell me, don't tell me." And I said, "Okay." She said, "If you tell him, he won't let me mow no more." So I said, "Okay, I won't." So I don't know if she ever told you about that or not.
Never did.
But I mean, that booger, I mean, she had that booger wrapped top. I mean, that was one memory I had about it. I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, if you could see Michelle, she said, don't tell Buford, he won't let me know no more." Well, I guess we're going to do some singing here. First one we're going to do this morning is on page 2, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty.
Our song shall rise to thee. Holy, 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 merciful and mighty, God in three persons, blessed Trinity. Holy, 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 all the saints adore thee, casting down their golden crowns around the blessed sea. Cherubim and seraphim, falling down before thee, with word and fire, and evermore shall be. Holy, 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 till the darkness hide thee. Lovely eye of sinful men, thy glory may not see. Holy, thou art holy, there is none beside thee. Perfect and power in love and purity. Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, all thy works shall praise thy name in earth and sky and sea. Holy, 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 merciful and mighty, God in three persons, blessed Trinity.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing, I'm glad that Brother Buford, came up here. I mean, it's, I was surprised that he was gonna be up here today. I mean, after the service, the funeral service out there at the graveyard, I asked him if he's gonna have anybody to, cover for him for today, and he pointed at himself, so. To me, I mean, that right there shows me that definitely he's a man of God. I mean, he's going to his helper, somebody who's gonna help him through stuff. I mean, of course, the church family, we need to do the same, but I would understand if he didn't come, wasn't gonna be able to come today. I mean, he did tell me, he said, I'm gonna try to preach, I don't know if I'll preach, I mean, I don't know exactly what. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, just his presence being here, I mean, it's just tells you what kind of a man that he is. I mean, I've never been in that situation. Some of us here have been, except Cecil and Patsy back there. They've been in that situation. I mean, you two ladies, lost your husbands. I mean, you've been in that situation. But one good thing is you came back. I mean, you knew where your heart was. You knew where your family members went. So I mean, that right there makes it easy. I mean, it don't make it easy. It don't make it easy, but it does. I guess you could say. When there's no more suffering.
I lost my husband too, and I couldn't have done it without the Lord.
Amen.
I could not, praise the Lord.
Yeah.
And I did that when it happened.
Exactly. Now, we have had people that passed here, and their family members never made it back. I mean, you know who they are. I mean, all you gotta do is look around. You know the one that used to be here that ain't here now. And I mean, some of them just did it for different situations. I mean, it don't have to be a death in the family. Some of them just pretty much just lost their faith. Or they had a pandemic that just made them shy away. I mean, we was talking in our Sunday school this morning that, there's, if, how can I say this, we was talking in Sunday school this morning, if you had to give your life for Christianity, I mean, how many of us would do it, or would we shy back from it? It was in our Sunday school lesson this morning, pretty much. The worst part about it, I mean, here in the United States, I mean, we don't have that bondage where we got to be real secret or something like that about being Christianity. I mean, we got freedom of speech and stuff like that. But some of these other countries where they don't have that freedom, I mean, it makes it easier for us, and where it's so easy, I guess you can say it makes it easier for us to shy away.
Just because you didn't come during the pandemic doesn't mean that you wasn't a Christian.
Exactly.
Those of us that chose not to do that, we used common sense, what was best for our family.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not singling nobody out on that deal. I mean, I understand that. I mean, there's some people who, like
They just never do that.
yeah, like Patsy said, I mean, there is reasons why, people wasn't able to come back. I mean, I understand that. Well, there's reasons that, I mean, you see people out here every day that hasn't come back. I mean, I got family members, I'm gonna tell you right now that I'm wondering what side of the fence they're on. To be honest with you, I really am, and one of them is one of my daughters.
I think we all have those.
So, I mean,
Sometimes it don't take a pandemic to shut people out of church.
exactly.
Right.
I mean, I don't mean the pandemic in the wrong way or nothing, I'm just using it as an example. I mean, like I said, there's all kinds of situations that pull people away from church.
I just like to say, I had a friend and she was just a good testimony, she had a really wild life, I guess you could call it, and she came up here, for a while. She started walking in the Lord, and, this is what I'm talking about. It don't have to just be one thing that pulls somebody away from God. It's sad because she was really an inspiration to me. She's actually the one that got me back in church. And then when she lost her mother, after that, she just pulled away. Instead of letting it bring her closer to God, she let it pull her away from God. And so I know people say, well, this one went to heaven, that one went to heaven, but it's sad because I look at everything that she once was, and I can't honestly say I know where she's at because of how she died. And her state, her soul, I just can't, and that's the saddest thing in the world. It's so much, like he said, it's not easy, but the faith and the hope helps you struggle through it if you know where someone went.
My mother, for example, my mother, I don't know where she went, I'll be honest with you. She knew of God, but I really don't know if she had a relationship. She was a person that took her own life. Like I said, I mean, the funeral the other day, I hate to call it a funeral, whatever, but it was more of a celebration. That was the first funeral I ever been to like I said, and it did not feel morbid to me. I mean, there was love, you could just feel it. You could feel God's presence in here. I mean, it was rejoicing, even though, I mean, people's crying, of course. I mean, I did. But the love was there. I mean, the love and feeling, the feeling of God. I don't know if it's because it's here in a church building or what it was, but I mean, but it don't have to be it don't have to be in the church building. But I mean, if you were here, you would, if you didn't feel it, I don't see how you could.
I found that some verses, it's actually a responsive reading in our hymnal on page 34 from some several completion songs that I think kind of ties together what we're talking about and our Sunday school lesson too, because remember in the Sunday school lesson system about the thank offering, these verses from Psalm say, Lord is gracious and righteous. Our God is full of compassion. How can I repay the Lord for all his goodness to me? I will sacrifice a thank offering to you. I will praise you, O Lord my God, with all my heart. I will glorify your name forever. And that's just how we have to approach him. That's what he's asking for. He gave his all to us, and what he wants back from us is our love and our praise. And that's what we felt at Michelle's celebration.
All right, we're gonna do I'm gonna call it the 80 Classic. Page 466. Yes, Lord, yes. Anybody got testimony out there? Anything you want to say?
I'd like to quote the song, learning to lean on Jesus, finding more power than I've ever dreamed. I'm learning to lean on Jesus. He gives us power to get us through all these things. It may take a few days for it all to sink in, maybe months. But when we lost our baby, I thought my life was over. I didn't think I'd ever be able to handle anything again. And other people in my family that I love dearly. But you know, if you lean on Jesus, he'll give you the power to get through it all.
Amen.
Neil, it says in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me.
Amen.
And it's true.
It is true. I guess we'll believe it.
Can we sing 560? Just us we trust in Jesus.
560.
I think that kind of, that's one where we just talked about is trusting in Jesus.
Anybody else have any songs that they want to sing today? I mean, Definitely do. I mean, I try to stay up here until the water runs out and then get some more water. 560, tis so sweet to trust in Jesus. It's so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take Him at His word, just to rest upon His promise, just to know thus saith the Lord. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. Oh, how sweet to trust in Jesus, just to trust His cleansing blood, just in simple faith to plunge me beneath the healing cleansing flood. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. Yes, 'tis sweet to trust in Jesus, just to sin and self to cease, just from Jesus simply taking life and rest and joy and peace. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. I'm so glad I learned to trust Thee, precious Jesus, Savior, friend. And I know that Thou art with me, wilt be with me to the end. Jesus, Jesus, now I trust Him, now I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. Anybody else have anything to say? Testimony or anything?
I'd like to say just a few words. We had an example here at the funeral of what influence that went out from Michelle. She left a good influence behind her. And I thought at the time how conscientious she was. I can remember she'd call me, we'd talk, and if she thought she had done anything, any little thing, when she'd tell me what was bothering her, I said, well, that's so simple. But she didn't want anything to stand in her way, leave anything behind. And I admired her for that. But she was the example. And well, there's proof to us here. And that service was like being in a revival
Yes,
spiritual
sir.
service.
That's why.
I told Cindy, I said, it wasn't like a funeral.
Nope.
It was this rejoicing. And I said, I think, oh, you for Gracie's hand. I thought that's the grace of God sent me. And I'd also like to comment too about you for being so faithful to her. I marvel at that. You were so faithful. And it just seemed like, I don't know, I missed her calls. Cindy says, well, did you hear from anybody today? And I said, no. And I said, Michelle, Michelle and Angie, the only ones I heard, I usually heard a lot from, other people have called it. I said, Michelle's gone now, and I said, just got Angie. But I can't express what I feel this morning about, but she encouraged me from time to time, different things. She loved God, I know she did. She was ready to meet him. We weren't ready to give her up, but she was ready to meet him. And I just thank for the memories. I can't, another day go by, as Mr. Cross. But I know she's where, she's happy. We sorrow, but they're happy. And I just thank God for her influence that she had. I don't know about the rest of it, but she had an influence over me. And I'm thankful for her, thankful for her.
Anybody else? You have some, say some, just scratch your head.
But I will say something.
That's good.
You know, sitting here thinking, we come to church to rejoice the Lord, revive Him. And, yes, you look around at all, not everybody in here, a lot of us, not too long ago, has lost someone we love very close. His mom, the Edwards, us, the Allens, just people all around. And, you know, you're with the Lord the whole time. Now, these people get sick and you may have to be with them. When you come back to church, it's kind of like your old vehicle. When it gets low on gas, you gotta fill it up.
Yeah.
And when you come back to church, I mean, you've been with the Lord all the time. But when you come back, you fill that old tank up a little bit. You might not get it full, but you keep coming back and He'll fill it up. He'll get it filled up for you. I don't want to saying it the right way that I think, but you know, we just keep hanging in there, just keep trusting the Lord. There's, we go to the Lord, every one of us do, or I do. I go to the Lord and I ask Him, why this? Why that? Sometimes I don't get an answer. Sometimes it's a week later before I get an answer. Sometimes I get an answer right then. So, but we know that He's right. He's got a plan for all of us. I don't know. I know He takes some of our loved ones that's close to Him. I don't know. Is He using them? Did He take my girl to go up there to help Him for her to help make a place for me? If she's up there doing that, it'd be a beautiful place. And if He's done it, it'd be beautiful, and if she's helping it, it'd be beautiful. So we just have to trust in Him. We'll get to see Him again one of these days. Every one of us will get to see Him all. Thank you.
I think the Lord, He looks down on Him that He has taken, said it to be also enough. No more pain. Bring me home. Thank you for your service down there. How's that go? Thank you for my faithful servant. I'm just wondering if she's still drinking McDonald's Diet Cokes up there. That's what I'm wondering. If she pounding booty down up there like she would down here.
I wonder about our youngest son, who passed away in 2019. Is he still doing the Mountain Dew?
Don't have to worry about brushing the teeth with them up there, probably.
Better get handy. I
They probably got to do something now.
hope so.
I should might plant a new flavor up there or something like that. Anybody else?
The drive here, we were talking about people that get lost. Lamont and Jan was talking about Patsy and Cecil's and all that. We talked about Michelle. I lost my uncle to COVID. We lost Ellen. It's just hard to think that every time you walk through that door, she always has a smile on her face and she's there. I mean, I don't know what I would tell Jan.
Well, I mean, the positive thing is, I mean, if you know that your loved one is right with the Lord. I mean, we don't know when our time is coming. I mean, me and Michelle, same age. I mean, that's like a wake-up call, I guess, you know.
I said, she sure looked a lot younger than this.
Oh, this year. Not pretty, too. But,
The first thing that Jana noticed as we pulled the parking lot, she said, look, Patsy and Cecil are here today.
We pulled in front of him, he parked behind us. And I said, so Bob, I said, well, Cecil's here. I said, Patsy's here too. Praise God, Patsy's here. Okay. Glad she comes to him to come.
I know when I pulled up here for the funeral, the other day, when they had the funeral, I pulled up here and I was like, I'm late. You know what I mean? I came up here like, it was a little before 12:30. I mean, funeral's out of 1. I came up here a little before 12:30 and I was like, they said, what? I mean, this place was packed. I had to drive the old Mustang in the grass just to get over here, where I could find a place to park. I mean, it blew my mind. This place in here was packed in here, and then we had chairs down the middle. It was definitely heartwarming.
We lost twin granddaughters. I think it was, they were 18 months old. And we had this kids' funeral home. And people were standing outside for visitations and the funeral. They said there was over 300 people there. And when Chris passed away, we had this memorial services gifts, and that place was totally packed. We had this visitation and things, because he was cremated. So I know what to do. I know what patients these are going through. Where we lost 2 boys. After that, October, November, in 2019. You don't think your children are supposed to go first. You're supposed to.
It happens. Like I
Our
was
little
saying,
son, he died just very young. I don't know whether he was saved or not. I don't know, 4 years ago. But our youngest son asked God to forgive him when he was in the hospital when he was sick. So I think I know where he is. But also, I'm sick with me. So it's going to be.
like I said, I got one kid that I'm worried about. one of my kids that I'm worried about. I mean, my son, I ain't worried about him, because I know he still talks about God, and my wife, she sends him scripture lessons and stuff like that, scripture. And I know if he gets stuck in this war or wherever, you know, if Marines call his unit to go somewhere.
Just pray for we get home safe.
I know the Lord's with him. My one daughter, I need to smack her upside the head a little bit.
Or the son and daughter same way.
But I mean, the thing about it, I mean, I need to do that because I don't know when my time's up. I mean, when I go walk out this door, my time be up. And I didn't get smacked her upside the head.
Well, you can make her regret it once you're gone then.
I mean, I heard stories of Patsy and Cecil's daughter. I mean, that sounded like she knew the Bible back and front. I mean, that was wonderful.
She did.
That was
She
wonderful.
would tell me, Mama, don't cry. It's gonna be okay. Cause I'm gonna go to a wonderful place and see my mama and papa in the face of Jesus. And when I go, don't cry. And I have a heart attack.
It's like people that were lost here, Brother Bowen, Mr. Sampson, Alex. I mean, if you didn't see God in them, you ain't right with the Lord. I mean, you can feel it with them. At least I could.
I think, in 556, it's what we're feeling right now. If the storm passes by, I've had to pray this many times myself too, and I know a lot of us are right now. Lord, just keep me safe until
You need to sing
Make
loud.
sure this-
I need help with this.
okay. I will.
Well, Mike,
No, I don't need one.
all right, 5:56, till the storm passes by. Hope's gonna lead it.
In the dark of the night, I could walk in my place, but the storm comes upon me, and there's no hiding place. With the crash of the thunder,
me safe till the storm passes by. When the long night has ended and the storms come no more, let me stand in thy presence on that bright, peaceful shore. In the land where the tempest never comes, Lord, may I dwell with thee when the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by.
One thing I want to add is, I know Michelle's gone, and, she was one person that ran the computers back there. I mean, I can try to run them computers back there, but if there is anybody who wanna lead the singing up here, I mean, please feel free to. I mean, I can try to go back there and learn the computers, or we can do vice versa. I mean, you don't have to lead the singing every week. I mean, I can do it a week, somebody else do it a week, somebody else do it a week. Anybody can come up here and lead the singing, okay? Not just me. I mean, we do need help here at the church. I mean, if you all want that up there, we need somebody back there. I know Brother Buford is a good sized fella, but he ain't got that long of arms to work that back there and preach up here.
Also, you know, Michelle had a few children back there on Wednesday nights. And, you know, if you all know of anybody, or if anybody in here would be willing to take that on, you know, it's just really sad that we, you know, that's left behind, because those children are precious. I had one or two of them with her back there when I was back there with her. And, you know, they're just gonna be lost without her, and they really, you know, it needs to continue. Someone needs to carry that on, you know, for them. I hate to see them fall out and maybe not know about God.
And with the age difference, it's hard for us to integrate children into the youth. I mean, what we're teaching the youth, I mean, what we're teaching the youth is more in a high school kind of deal. I mean, you know, life in high school and junior high kind of deal. I mean, the younger children, I mean, they're gonna be, they'd be lost what we're talking about in that, and some of the, I guess the subjects might be a little more than that, what they need to listen to. Even though they probably heard it at school anyway. But, we definitely, I mean, this church definitely needs people to step up and help a little bit. I mean, even if they're, I mean, you don't have to do it every time. I mean, like those kids, I mean, even if you was there with them twice a month, I mean, that's more than what they're gonna get now.
I could maybe try to do that, help with that.
I think you would be very gifted, I really do. They're so precious, just so precious.
I'll try to do that.
And like Wednesday Bible studies, I mean, it'd be nice if y'all could start that back up here too. I mean, as a group, I mean, surely somebody can do it once a month. I mean, like me, I mean, I stood in for Robert this morning. I mean, I'm not doing it every time. But I mean, I don't mind to back her up a little bit. I mean, it's understanding. I mean, nobody can, sometimes, you know, you're not gonna be able to do it all the time. But I mean, just that little extra help, I mean, it goes a long way. I mean, and we ain't gonna teach any young people if we don't teach them. I mean, they're gonna get lost. I mean, same way with, family members. If we don't tell our family members about God, they're gonna be lost.
Even if you have one or two kids, you know, they help tell some others. I mean, I don't know if any of you all in here have like access to like children of middle age that you actually can talk to them. There are so many things that goes on that would horrify you at school.
Oh, yeah, I mean, look, the girls, they tell us, I mean, a bunch of stuff that goes on at the schools and stuff like that. And I mean, if there's just a couple kids that can plant seeds in the school, I mean, maybe there might be just that one kid that's gonna get saved, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they can't save the whole school, but they might have a friend that they can help. They might have a friend that don't know God, don't know how to get rid of their expressions or whatever. You know, I mean, help them through tough times. I mean, that one friend, I mean, their family might not have any relationship with God. And maybe that kid themselves can take it back to their home or whatever, and maybe spread it through their family. I mean, God works in strange ways. You never know. It's like the grass out there. You ain't gonna get no grass if you don't put no seed in. You just get a lot of dirt. And then in the school system today, kids get a lot of dirt. And there ain't no seeds. Same way with the adults too. I mean, there's a lot of dirt out there because there ain't no seeds.
I'd like to do a testimony. Some of you here may know that it's not really been out there. We trying to hide it. We don't hide anything from the Lord, so we don't hide it from nobody else either. But notice that Devin, you know, he's not with us. And the reason why is because we did our best with him. He had some mental issues, I think, growing up that had to do with, you know, his dad and his mom. They weren't there. And I think he resented me and Nick, you know, because we were his mother and father figure. And so he just had a lot of problems. And then when Tara moved up here, I had lost my sister and I was just tore all to pieces. And he just became, I don't know, I can't honestly say if he was trying to manipulate me because he saw my weakness or what happened, you know, but he just really set in on me. And I told Tara, I said, he's going to have to come with you for a while. I said, because I can't deal with this right now. So I sent him to her house. And he had admitted this summer, and I'm not into knowing anything about these new drugs that they have out here, but he admitted to me this summer that he had tried something called a vape marijuana. And he had actually had a psychotic episode, and we had to take him to the hospital. And they sent him back home. I had Neil in there screaming in pain with his back. And I mean, honestly, like a woman in labor, because he could get no relief. I kept taking him to the hospital. He was screaming on the way up there, on the way back. And I have Devin at the other end of the house, and he's talking out of his head about things, and I'm having to watch him. And I mean, God just gave me the strength to get through that, because I was just a mess, just trying to handle it. So anyhow, we do believe that Devin was doing synthetic marijuana and a vape. He was getting a hold of it some from school. I had called one of the officers up there because when he was with Tara, he came home, and it scared me how aggressive he got, because he was cussing her and she was telling him stop it, and I could hear him in the background just cussing her more. And that was not even Devin. He was never that bad. So I had to go up there, and I told her call the cops, and we needed to have something done with him, because it's getting to the point that she didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe for him being there, and they couldn't do anything with him, so they told her the next day to go downtown and file papers with social services and to have him put in their care, because they didn't have the CDW. It was trouble down here because they had one that quit, and because of COVID, they had another that was sick, so they didn't have anybody covered. So they said, just go get the social services and you can have him turned over for his behavior. And so that's only, we had taken him to every hospital, and it was hard to get him into some of them. We had done everything we possibly could do with therapy, and so it became a bad choice that we had to let him go for his own good, to get him some help. So, but here's where God works, because we prayed about it, and God put him down in Montgomery County with a, down there with a family. The man goes to church faithfully. He is a farmer. He's teaching him, chores, structure, God. So, we're just praying that, that it turns him around. He's still a little angry. He's going to therapy and stuff, but, that's just how God works, because, what are the chances that he stuck him with a Christian family and on a farm where he can get good work ethic, the things that he really needs, structure.
Anybody else? I'll tell you, I ran out of water.
Can we get you some?
Well, Beaver, you want to close? Or I'll close. Anything else? Anybody want to close us? All right, we bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for this Song Testimony Day, Lord. Lord, be with all these families in here that gave their testimonies, that lost loved ones, that lost pretty much everything, I guess you could say, Lord. Lord, be with us through this week, Lord. Let's go out here and plant the seeds, Lord, that's need to be planted out here, Lord. Lord, if you can find it in some of these your faithful servants' heart here to help work in your church, Lord. Lord, be with us as we go back to our own homes or wherever destination we're going to, Lord. In your precious name we pray. Amen.